So he's saying he quote retweets a video of some people being arrested outside of a mosque in France. And the quote retweet says, French leader Macron continues to close mosques in France. Over 73 mosques and Islamic private schools have been closed in a bid to combat, quote, extremist Islam. Interior Defense Minister Gerald uh, Darmanin said. So then he quote retweeted it and said, French minorities are ignored because the census prohibits collecting data on ethnicity. France doesn't even know it's discriminatory as it refuses to keep data on discrimination. Conveniently, you're just French. Sure, tell that to the minorities in those decrepit, I don't know how to say that French word. I'm assuming that's like a French word for like ghetto or slum or something.
Okay, so what's your take on this? What do you?
Well,
I don't. Yeah. What do
he's
you?
he's
Hmm.
bringing this into the picture of what he's saying, trying to um, talk about alienation
Right.
of French Muslims as an impetus for this. And he's
Hmm.
wanted to provide this context because he's trying to um, show an image like this video, if you scroll down, of what French Muslims see and what
Hmm.
Muslims see, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with this part.
Yeah.
I agree with this part.
So
So
again,
yeah.
well, I'm providing extra
Context.
context in his expanded position because later he was just already accusing like everyone of strawmanning him when they're like, I don't understand what you're saying here.
Right. Okay.
And
So you're
so,
just providing context, but with this I agree. Demonizing Muslims, obviously. Again, at the beginning, I told you that some people are now using this as an excuse to demonize Muslims. This shows that people are. It's not just the pro Islam side that people that we can see that are abandoning defense of enlightenment values. Our side, the anti-Islam people, when they all of a sudden defend stuff like this, I don't know what this is, but if it is anything when it comes to demonizing Muslims, that side is also abandoning enlightenment values when they don't care for
mhm.
the rights of their citizens. So this, I don't know the full context of this video, but if it's being described accurately, then yeah, I agree with this tweet. Is there anything below this that you want me to
They're
highlight?
holding French flags in this video as they're being evicted from their mosque. It's heartbreaking and very counterproductive. Never forget our humanity, no matter how much we've been provoked.
Right. Actually, David Wren, I know David, is saying if you disapprove of France's minority blind way of keeping statistics, then you must blame the so-called anti-racist, i.e., the regressive left, for promoting that policy, claiming that data about ethnicity would lead to the far right fomenting racism. All right,
Fomenting.
fomenting. What did I say? Fomenting racism. All right. Is there next one that we want to highlight?
Yeah, so the next one is I don't. Okay, I'll bring it up just because again we're not strawmanning him.
Yeah,
Uh,
so you're just highlighting this because you want to make sure that we're providing a context for what his views are. Like we want to make sure that we don't accuse Majid of being on the side of like not condemning the person who was doing like the violence, right? Like we know that obviously Majid is against the violence, and he is for blasphemy. So we're not saying that. I guess we need to say that because even if it's obvious for us, it might not be obvious for people who are joining our live stream. Just so maybe you're right that we're highlighting this. Okay, so what is this one?
the next one says video of how he supports France in principle. Okay. To remind everyone, because Twitter has a memory span of 10 minutes, I support France in principle, just not Macron's strategy. I hope that's not too blasphemous for the rest of you now,
Oh, come
too.
on, calling it blasphemous. This
Wait, and
is
then scroll down.
Yeah, but I just want to say this is such a bullshit thing. Like
Yeah.
he's trying to really, really, Majid. You think that people criticizing you on Twitter and not agreeing with your stance, that means they're treating your tweets as blasphemy? Is that what you're saying? Oh, like do you think like are you kind of suggesting that is the similar somehow to how other people have to deal with blasphemy? Is it Maajid, is it similar to the person that was beheaded for their blasphemy?
Mm-hmm.
Is people criticizing you on Twitter and not agreeing with you? Are they treating you like a blasphemer because of that? Go fuck yourself. Like, come on. Cry me a river. Like, look at this. This guy thinks he's a victim now because people are calling him out on
Because
Twitter.
everyone saw that first thread and they were like, "What?"
Yeah, people were like, "What the fuck, Majid?" And we're like, "Oh, like, I'm the blasphemer now. Poor me, poor Majid. People are criticizing him on Twitter and disagreeing with him. Boo, fucking who, Majid?" Anyways,
Um, so please do not forget where I have stood on this cartoon. On this cartoon issue as a matter of principle. See the video. But strategy is not principle. France and Turkey are on opposing sides of a war in Libya and in the Mediterranean. It is no longer about cartoons. We are being played.
you're being played. You're playing into the hands of the terrorists who are using intimidation tactics, and you want to give up on the principles. Yeah, strategy is not principle. What do you mean strategy is not principle? You use strategy to promote you use the best strategy to promote your principles consistently, always. If your principles work, you come up with strategies to promote them. You don't back out of your principles when people are trying to intimidate you. You're the one that is being played. We are being played. Majid, you are being played. You're the one who's being played. They're scaring you. They're using terrorism as a way to make you back down, and you're playing into their hands. You are the one who's being played.
Yeah. Meanwhile, wait, scroll back up. Yeah. Funny. Look at these tweets and then look at what's happening right on the side under world news. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Majid, let's park our principles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Park our principles.
So
We'll double down our principles. Thank you very much.
okay.
That's our strategy. You're like, oh, your strategy is not principle. Okay, yeah, our strategy is to double down our principles. What about now? What's the next one?
The next one is Maajid, the bots are inciting atheist. Yeah. Did you
Okay,
see that?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Hold on.
So someone, can you scroll down so I can see the quote retweet? Someone replied to Maajid saying, "Exactly, the principle is worth defending and we should not compromise on this, but also realize this is a wedge issue that actors like Putin and the CCP can exploit through social media to drive French society further apart." So again, bringing in the geopolitics into this. And then back to his
Okay.
thread.
Mm-hmm.
So he quote retweeted that said, "Precisely, bots online are inciting atheist, ex-Muslim, and free speech activists to fall into a trap. Not me. I care about avoiding U.S.-style civil conflict more than defending the French state, not a private magazine, from antagonizing 10% of its population. Think strategically."
Okay, let's analyze this. First of all, this is not about a private magazine, you fucking moron. This is about fighting for certain values. It doesn't matter if it's a private magazine. It doesn't matter if they're far left, far right, average people, Muslims, Christians, atheists. It's about fighting for certain values, no matter where it comes from. Do you really think that? Look, he keeps telling people not to strawman him, but he thinks that, oh, all we care about. Oh yeah, that's what we care about, Majid. We're like so attached to this private organization that makes magazines. It's not about the values that we're upholding. It's about we all have emotional attachment to Charlie Hebdo, and we want them to succeed financially. We all are invested in that. Do you really? It is, and he look at this. Look how he's strawmanning us, and he keeps crying. They're strawmanning me. They're strawmanning me. They don't understand me. My takes are so nuanced and beyond these people, and everybody who disagrees with me just doesn't understand what I'm saying. I care about avoiding a U.S.-style civil conflicts more than defending the French state. Well, how about this, Majid? Maybe don't give in to the terrorists and encourage them to do more violence. How about that? If you don't want a civil conflict, maybe don't reward the people who are doing the violence. How about that? If you want to avoid a civil conflict, maybe don't show them that the tactics are working. Think strategically. Yeah, think strategically. The people that are doing the stabby. Don't go and tell them like, hey, we surrender. Don't do that. How about that? Huh? Like, hey, you guys won. We're gonna shut up. You stabbed us too many times, and we're gonna shut up now. And like, oh, look at this, the sabby work, guys. They're gonna go tell their friend, guys, the sabby works. Let's do more sabby next time somebody says we don't like. Do you think they're gonna stop at that? You fucking moron! Haven't you fight for free speech enough to know that when you give in, that's not gonna be like, oh, let's go home now. Hey, they stopped blaspheming, guys. Let's stop it with the stabby. Do you like? Let's go home and let's be peaceful now. Hey, let's go home, like guys. Maybe like, oh, these radical ways that we have been doing. They stopped. They stopped. So Maajid came out and said like, hey, let's park our principles. Oh, we should stop being radicals now. Or do you think they're gonna ask for more? Like, what else can we tell them to shut the fuck up about? Huh? If this worked, like, hey, maybe we want this now. Now you could give in to that as well? Well, we want more. They always want more when you give in to them. How do you not know this, Maajid? Haven't you spent your lifetime fighting for Enlightenment principles, for freedom of expression? This is like activism 101. How do you not know this? Think strategically. You need to go to activism school. Anyways.
Billy Bong is saying, I mean, Maajid is a Muslim. He probably dislikes drawings of Muhammad. He's actually drawn Muhammad. He posted a stick figure, said it was Muhammad, and now he can never return to Pakistan to visit his family because of it.
Yeah, so he's a person that is able to draw Muhammad. This is the time, Maajid, that you draw Muhammad. So you have shown that that it's not against your principles to draw Muhammad. Okay? Now is the time. Now is the time to draw Muhammad. Double down.